But I will say I'm not a fan of the seniors. I like the concept of it at first. I like nostalgia. I'm a big fan of nostalgia. Of course I am. I collect retro toys. But I found it depressing. Hello and welcome to the Mission Darts podcast, take 2. Hopefully our video guy cuts out that
take 1.
I didn't quite get it. Take 1. This is take 2, full disclosure, but welcome. And the good news here, as you visual viewers can see, that's where I'm getting tongue twisted. Visual viewers. It's quite tricky. And I know that everyone's sat at home now going visual viewers, and they will know that me and Andy are separated again. We're in different locations, which is great for me because 2 days of Andy is about all I can handle. But Andy, I'm gonna ask something of you here. Getting that little tongue twister in there really did just make me think. So I'm going to get a bit of pen and paper. I'm going to write something down, and I want you to say it. But I want you to say it at full speed, without pause.
Because the problem's going to be reading your writing.
This is something that I tried saying when I was at a restaurant, right? And I didn't realise how hard it was to say. Here you go.
Okay. Red wine relish.
Now say it full speed.
Red wine relish. Red wine relish.
Oh. You didn't see the
Must be the Yorkshire coming out in your mat or something. Red wine relish. Red wine relish. It's not. Okay, try that at home. Yeah, okay, he's coming up with another one. Anyway, while he's doing this, guys, it's episode 41. Hope you enjoyed the live episode 40 last week. Here we go with another one. Salt sachet. Why would that be difficult?
Just say it in like one content. Don't split it.
Salt sachet. Salt sachet.
These are things I struggle to say.
Okay. Well, we've learned some things today, Matt. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments section.
Can I have one of them salt things? One of them salt things that comes in a little packet. Can I have one of them? Because I can't say what it's called. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. Anybody that's listening for the first time now is going, I think I've clicked the wrong thing. They're talking about tongue twisters, and I thought this was a darts podcast. But those regulars will be like, yeah, this is normal. This is Matt and Andy kicking off episode 41 with a load of nonsense. So welcome, everybody. Thanks to those who joined us live last week. I know there was a little bit of confusion when we recorded it and then put it out, and people were like, this isn't live. Well, no, it isn't, because we recorded it live. So there was a little bit of confusion, but I think it was well worth doing. Lots of people enjoyed it, Matt. We also did a live on TikTok, Mission TikTok as well, which was great. So it was a really productive couple of days, and you're going to see some interesting stuff Matt and I did. But not only that, Matt, I'm coming again next week.
There's a lot to unpack there. And I think I'm going to start with what you said there about the Mission podcast live. My first point of call is that. And my first point of call is to discuss and say, I cannot believe 130 people came to that live stream. This is a channel that has just over 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah. That
means more than 10% of our subscriber base came to watch the live stream. That is mind-blowing to me. And not only that, we had people joining us from countries where it was 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, we did. That's amazing. A quick shout at this point. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because then you can turn the notifications bell on, and then you can find out when our next live is going to be, because we're going to do loads more stuff like this, Matt. And that really is the best way to find out. I know a couple of people missed it because they didn't have the notifications bell on. And of course, we did it, I think it was 5:30 on a Wednesday. So you wouldn't know that we'd be live unless you got that notification. So make sure you subscribe and you've got your notifications on. But yeah, people joining us in the middle of the night was wonderful. It was great. It was fantastic. It was something else. We had a live 180 on the pod, which was, of course, as expected by you. And then a great demonstration of how to check out 78. So if you haven't watched last week's yet, it's well worth a watch. Just for those, and I might put those out as little shorts as well on this channel. Really enjoyed it, Matt. Really enjoyed being over at yours. It's a great little studio, somewhere where we're going to do loads more work. The ambience was fantastic. We are still to do our Rate My Matt studio, which we're probably going to do next week. And the main channel, a lot of love for the home hockey series. A lot of love, Matt. People really reaching out and enjoying that.
It's a great, and when we say home hockey, we kind of mean darts in places. So
yes, as we will see
when this
week.
is out, you'll know we've been to one in a coffee shop. We're going to one in a hairdresser's. We're doing my studio as part of that series.
Yep.
We're going to somebody else's house up north, a little bit more towards Leicester way from where I am. So yeah, it's one of those where we want to find it in unusual places, but also we're going to expand this little playlist, this little series. And it's sort of like, you know, where you've got like man versus food or man finds food, and he goes out and he looks for all the eating challenges. That's us. We're going to go out and look for darts. We're even going, and this is one that you're going to love this one. Me and Andy are going to a car boot sale. Now, a car boot sale, if you're unfamiliar, if you're from other countries, is a flea market, basically. I've found this out, that you need to clarify this because not everyone understands what a car boot sale is. So a car boot sale, like a flea market, where you go, people clearing out the houses, they put it in the car, they take it to a field and they sell it off cheap. We're going to a car boot, and here is the rule, and this is why this video is going to be fun. We have to buy everything darts related.
Yes.
1960s dart, brass darts, battered dartboards, whatever we find, doesn't matter if it's 20 quid for a battered dartboard, we have to get it. And now what's going to happen is people are going to try and work out what car boots are going to and go with all the knackered darts equipment. Be like, yeah, $5 for these flights, mate. Yeah, those darts, yeah, 50 quid. 20 quid for the board. Crack on, lads. You said everything.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. Looking forward to that. There's so much planned, Matt, isn't there? We've got so many, you know, with the series that are going on. We're halfway through filming the next Rate My Hockey series, which will be coming out in the summer. We've got the dartboards in unusual places, which we're currently on with. We're doing loads of TikTok things. We've got your studio. We've started doing lives. We're just doing more and more and more stuff and pushing the boundaries and loving, by the way, the questions that are coming in. Those of you that want to get in touch, YouTube at missiondarts.com. People are sending some really, really interesting stuff, Matt, now. And usually I pose these to you and then I kind of get involved. So I've got one to kick off with, because this is relevant to what we were talking about last week. And this has come from the mediocre darts guy, I think he is, who has put in the last live, you guys mentioned a rule of not using slims with barrels above 21 gram. It would be great to hear on the pod of any other kind of rules, in inverted commas, regarding equipment and the reasoning behind them. And that kind of got me thinking, because you and I have been involved in it for so long. What are the hard and fast rules? If a guy down, you know, the golf club says, "Oh, mate, I'm thinking of taking up darts. I ain't got a clue. What should I be looking for?" And I think we could probably give some sort of insight into this. I used to always say, don't use pair flights on a long dart. I was always an advocate for pair flights work better with shorter darts, just the balance. Like you said, with the slims, don't put a slim flight in a 36 gram. You know, don't put slims in Ryan Searles. It's going to. They're not hard and fast. Down. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that. When as a beginner, heavier darts are easier to throw. It's as simple as that. I always kind of say, you know, what's easier to throw straight, a cricket ball or a tennis ball? And it's a cricket ball, because the extra weight, just the mass, helps it stay straighter. So, yeah, start heavy. Start in the 30s. You'll find it much easier. You find it much, much easier. Don't start with an over-aggressive barrel, you know, a scallop at the front, grip at the back. Just start with something fairly plain. because you end up, and I come across this in precisions where people are, I can only use grippy darts. I've always had grippy darts. And then you give them a non-grippy dart and they're like, oh, actually, that's all right. but in their head.
This leads me to a topic.
Yeah, go
As
for
you
it.
know, I'm doing a lot of coaching right now. My diary is chocker. I'm booked out months in advance now, right here at the Edgar TV studios in Daventry, Northamptonshire. Yeah. And do you know what? With that, and because of the fact of people that are coming to me, I've really enjoyed the experience, they share the experience. I'm getting tagged in a lot of posts. Like when people make comments on Facebook, things like that. People tag me in things like, go see Matt. Matt will deal with it. Go see Matt. It'll sort this out. And there's a lot of people that push that. And then I get to see a lot of things. There's some very strange comments out there when it comes to darts. Are we still in a stage of ignorance with this sport? In the fact of people think that, like, I mean, I see this before, especially with coaching football. Oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. Oh, because you've been doing something for 30 years, don't mean you're doing it right. It just means you've been doing it wrong for a long time. You've not learned your lesson. Like, it doesn't make you right. But with that, I've also seen a lot of weird sort of views on things. Like when people talk about equipment, oh, just go down your local dart shop and just trial a load of stuff and try and work out what's for you. You don't have the expertise in doing this. That's like going, oh, I've just gashed my leg. I need to get some stitch. Get the needle and thread, love. I'll have a little go.
Yeah, and have a go. Yeah, have a go.
I'll stick a video on YouTube, see how it's done, and I'll just have a bit of a go. You know, I don't need to go to the hospital. I don't need to go to the doctors. I'll just have a go on it, you know. And it's so weird, isn't it, how with our sport at the moment. And do you know what, right? I would say, I haven't got a percentage on this. I'm going to make it up. This is a rough percentage. I would say about half, 50% of the people that come to me all are golf fans who say, and because the culture in golf is, you go see your local pro, he'll give you the lessons. He'll help you out. They all come to me, and they've all got some form. Like half of them have all got some form of golf background. The other 40% are new players who want to do the right things, and 10% of people are the people who get to the point of crisis where they go, I'm so confused, I'm so lost because I tried to fix it all myself, and now I went to Dave 123 who did it for 20 quid and he confused the life out of me and I don't have a clue what I'm doing now.
Yeah, there's a guy down my local. He helps everybody. So I went to him. I've heard it so many times. I watched every video I could find on YouTube about elbows and oh Christ, you know what's coming, don't you? Yeah. You know that they started off with one fault, but now they've got 6 because they've literally tried everything and yeah, it is our sport. You're right. I think lots of things need to develop in our sport. You know, it feels like prize money is running away into the realms of other sports, but not everything else is catching up. I talk a lot about management. I talk a lot about coaching and stuff, and I'm not seeing it in our sport. As I say, I'm not seeing it to a level that it is in other sports, you know, nutrition and fitness.
That point right there.
Yeah.
Because I am one of these people that I'm always looking at businesses, investment opportunities. What can I get involved in? And I remember ringing up Andy. This me talk straight to the viewer now even. I remember ringing up Andy, all excited. Andy, I've cracked the code. The biggest problem you'll hear if you play darts, you'll hear people say stupid comments like, don't eat till you beat. Nice little rhyme that people come up with. People don't want to feel full when they're playing, so they'll have a big breakfast in the morning and then they'll eat afterwards, but you might be playing for 10 hours. So I said to Andy, Andy, I've come up with this thing. I spoke to a nutritionist. What I've designed is an energy bar that is high in everything we need, but low volume of food. So you're going to get good calories, good protein, good slow release carbs, little bit of sugar in there, so you get a little bit of quick release as well. Vitamins, everything we need in this bar. And I'm going to market it to dart players because when you go to a tournament, this is perfect because you can have this in the middle part of the day. You're not going to be full, but you're going to basically have a meal. I said, perfect. I found a manufacturer in China who's going to make it, got the packaging, got everything sorted. And Andy says to me, he goes, it'll never work. I says, why? And he goes, the problem is, he goes, how many dart players do you know who's going to go out after having the greasy fry up in the morning, who go out, have drunk 4 pints because they need it to play, and then they get to the darts match and then go, oh, I fancy having one of Matt's high protein energy bars. And it's like, yeah, because you've got to change the culture. And I can't change the culture. And to change the culture, it's going to cost millions. And I was just like, it's a really good idea. It should work, but it'll be rejected by the thing. Just like things like, I mean, I'm not saying coaching's rejected. I'm saying it's rejected with the old school mentality of, just like, this is the thing, right, with darts. What I don't understand, when people say, do what feels comfortable. Do what feels comfortable? If I walk with my feet at 10 to 2, right, and I say that's comfortable, am I walking correctly? No. If a child walked into school when I was at the school and they had feet at 10 to 2, they would go to intervention. And the intervention would be, we'd have them on a ladder, and all they would, the floor ladder, that's not a climbing ladder. And all they would do is they'd take a step and would make sure that the toes are facing to the rungs of the ladder, and then we'd just pick up the pace, and we'd do all different routines and different exercises and things until they was walking with the toes forward. Because if they're not walking with the toes forward and the feet facing forward, they're not going to be able to run properly. If they can't run properly, then I can't teach them sport-specific things. So, like, if I said to them, right, now we're going to try and put some football skills in here, we can't, because they can't run. If they can't run, they can't walk. And if they can't walk, they can't balance. And if they can't balance, they can't stand on one leg and strike a ball with pressure. So you have to reel it all the way back to where you first start. And when it's do what feels comfortable, all right, okay, it might feel comfortable, but it's bloody wrong.
That's it. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's I'm sick of hearing, make sure your elbow's straight. If your elbow's straight, you're sorted, mate. You'll be fine. As long as your elbow's straight.
I'm sat in my chair now like this. This feels comfortable to me. However, my head's sat forward, so I'm putting more pressure on my back. My thoracic spine is going to get tight. I'm going to have problems with my lower back because I should be sat like this.
Yeah.
But it's comfortable to sit like this. So screw what the experts know.
Absolutely. No, good points. Good points. Right.
Match rant of the week.
Match rant of the week. Steve Maddock has said, he's written it very small. Glasses are going on, old age. Right. First off, huge fan of the content. Hello, Andy and Matt. For Matt, in a previous podcast, a viewer had questioned how the PDC is more sports entertainment, WWE, and had suggested getting Jim Johnson. He's a music producer, apparently, for WWF wrestlers. I don't actually know why he said that, but anyway, he said, my question is about dart points. With the advancement of interchangeable dart points and now smaller brands doing customized points, my question is, what are your opinions of interchangeable dart points? And secondly, what's the ideal length of a dart point in your view? So 2 questions there. What are our opinions on the interchangeable dart points where you can unscrew them and screw new ones in? And what do we think the ideal length is? Which one do you want to start on?
I think the more we see developments in grip patterns and lengths and things in regards to points, the more essential it's going to become to have interchangeable points and systems. The darts evolved, the stems evolved, the flights evolved, the equipment's evolved. I think the next evolution is that. And not only that, as a player, I can tell you that it's very, very welcomed. Not something I use as of yet, because I don't like messing with points. I've seen a lot of points come out. Callum Ridge played with 2 darts. Yeah. I'm not comfortable in the technology. I mean, you drive an electric car. I'm not comfortable enough with that technology yet. Especially with the lifespan being around about what they say 10 years, isn't it? So I see that as an accelerated depreciating asset. Cars are depreciating assets anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%. Yeah, a second-hand electric car, nobody wants one. Nobody wants one because they don't know what the longevity is. You're absolutely right.
So I think that at the moment, the technology is not developed to the point where I trust it fully yet, but I think we're getting there. And the benefit to this, I can tell you from a professional standpoint, is when you are out on the tour, your biggest priority isn't I want to go first class, like when you go on a holiday. It's I want to keep my costs as low as possible because I want to keep my profit margins high. So if you're going away to play a tournament, an exhibition, you earn £2,000, you spend £800 on expenses, you got £1,200 of profit, which is before tax. If you can keep it down to 500 quid, you've got £300 more for yourself. You don't have to earn another 300 quid. You've already earned it. You're just keeping more of it. So ideally, you want to keep your costs as low as possible. So what you do is you tend to find yourself on Ryanair and these sort of airlines. And with those, you're paying £40 for checking a bag there, £40 to checking a bag back, because only for the reason you need to put your darts in there because you can't fit in your hand luggage. However, if you take the points out of the darts, it is no longer classed as a dart. So the issue is we have a dart. Now, this is essentially a stabbing object because it's got a sharp point. So you can hold the dart. It's a stabbing object. Now, if you take the point out the dart, now you have a point and a barrel. The point length doesn't exceed what a stabbing object is. Now, granted, you could go and put the point back in the dart, but it's not an issue. Like, for some reason, they let that go. So certainly, if you have a backpack, I've done this many times. I've got videos on this. If you've got a backpack and you take it and you put the points in one side of the backpack and the barrels in the other, so they're not even next to each other and they're separated when they go through the scanner, they don't even associate that they're something that can be put back together again.
Interesting.
So,
so that's a good point.
By taking the points out, it's going to save you 80 quid on your expenses. So if you spend 50 quid to convert your darts, it's worth it when you go on one flight. So from that perspective, those regulars to the channel or have been for a fitting or coaching with me will know that I'm a big fan, like you, of playing with the points that come in the dots. They've been done in a machine, in a factory, far better than what I can do with a little handheld re-pointer, trying to get them, take them out and put a new set back in. That being said, the new systems, the Caliburn system, which is in association with Mission, the other systems that are out there, I get that it's much easier now. That being said, I still hear of points breaking because you're weakening what's going on. And I honestly believe, and I probably shouldn't say this as a Mission ambassador, somebody representing a company that sells lots of points, it's more aesthetic to me, the points. Oh, look, I've got rainbow points in mine. Oh, look, mine have got grip on the. Oh, look, mine stick in the board better. All of those things, with the exception of the aesthetics, you can do with a standard point. Rough up a standard point, it'll stick in the board, no problem whatsoever, and start pulling the size out if you rough it up too much. You know, having finger grip on the point. Every time I see that, I'm like, really? Like, really? Did anybody back in the day have finger grip on the point? No. And yet, greatest player of all time, he seemed to hit 180s all right. It's another, I'm reliant on grip on the point. Pop quiz time.
Quiz? Oh, go on.
Which dart player first suggested putting grip on the points? And
right, so I think
two-parter. Which dart player then designed hundreds alongside an engineer of different dart points and patented loads of them?
Is it a different player?
Two different people.
Right. So I would want to say Gary Anderson.
Gary Anderson's the one who patented a load of points.
Right. Because I remember those coming out. I was selling darts equipment at the time, and I remember those coming out, and you couldn't get hold of them. Everybody wanted them. But he wasn't the guy who came up with the idea, you're saying? There was somebody else that, oh, okay, well, that's interesting then. It can't have been Phil. I can't imagine, because Phil didn't have a finger anywhere near. Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh, Andy's getting a delivery of his anchovies.
Yeah, delivery. Right, talk amongst yourselves. There's a delivery at the door.
Well, this can be interesting to what Andy gets, actually, because we know his tastes are a little bit more fancy than mine. So probably got some caviar or something knowing him. Certainly won't be off Amazon Prime or something, will it? Now, I'm kind of intrigued to see where this goes with this now. Also, while he's gone, I'm going to tell you he's never going to guess this in a million years. If you do know, take this opportunity to put it in the comments. Let's see who, if anyone knows exactly who it is. But I would be surprised if anyone really knows the player nowadays, actually, because this player sort of don't even play darts anymore, certainly in 2025, and hasn't done for quite a few years. Oh, see if he's back with his caviar. It's going to be something. It's going to be a fancy shirt. It's going to be caviar. It's going to be anchovies or a vinyl. It's going to be a vinyl of some sort, isn't it? Like some 1980s record, bit of physical media for Andy. Here he is.
Well, I'm really glad I just ran down the 2 flights of stairs there. I could hear you, by the way. My headphones worked all the way down, but obviously I couldn't talk. To take 3 parcels for next door because they're not in. Brilliant. Thanks for that. Not busy, mate. Not doing anything. Anyway, I know my neighbours. So, yeah, I've taken 3 parcels for next door. So that was exciting during the podcast, wasn't it? You're hoping, I bet, I was coming back with some more anchovies or something. I don't know. But, yeah, you're expecting me to come back with some champagne or something. Anyway, some parcels for next door.
So who's the player?
We were talking... Sorry about that. Who's the player? It's got to be... I'm going to go Adrian Lewis. No. Okay. Go on, enlighten us. Who's the player?
Alex Roy.
I think you could give me 100 guesses. I wouldn't have guessed Alex.
Yeah. He was the first player to do it. He even made some kind of himself, and then Gary was like, "Oh, I'll do some of them."
Was he?
I bet he wishes he got involved in some royalties on that now.
He does. I bet he does. Wasn't he a player or the first player to have a towel on his belt hook?
Yeah,
do you remember he had an
innovation?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
there's a couple of players do that. The Asian players tend to do that more. A little towel on the belt hook, keep your hands dry, and then. Anyway, interesting.
Okay, I'm not. I think I know the answer to this. I think it's correct.
I don't know what the question is.
Okay. Do you know the little twizzly cogs on the back of some of the dartboards?
Yes.
Who had royalties on that?
I thought it was another brand that came up with that idea, and it
was a player who suggested it to the brand and then takes a small royalty for every board that uses it.
Wow, well, this is a good little... I like this one. Anybody that's listening here halfway through the podcast, you're going to find out something here. I did not know.
I think I know the answer to this.
I think I'm
95% sure.
So I'd be guessing somebody involved with them. I got Paul Nicholson.
Tony O'Shea.
Well, there's another I could have had a lot of guesses at, and I would not have got. That's a really interesting one, that. Hang on 1 second. You've actually just given me the best opportunity there to bring up the one and only exciting time I had as a professional dart player, which was coming from 3-0 down against Tony O'Shea to beat him 4-3 with 4 consecutive 12 darters. That was in the Dutch Open. And that's that. When anybody ever says to me, "Oh, what's your favourite memory of playing that?" I didn't have many. Matt's got hundreds. That's the one that sticks in my mind as being the one time I actually managed to turn it on for about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. But Tony, what a legend, by the way. I'm sure you know him as well as I do. What a great, one of the nicest guys in darts. Still doing the exhibitions now, I think, as well. Great walk on song.
He struggles a bit now, bit arthritis, struggles to open his hand, but can still play. Play.
Good to see.
So, Edgar's game of the week.
Go on then.
I should make a jingle. I'm going to do a jingle. It's time for Edgar's game of the week. game of the week. Right. So
Great jingle, that, Matt. Yeah.
So, as things stand right now, recording this podcast,
Yes.
I am going to give you 8 guesses to fill the 5 slots. Who are the 5 highest ranked dart players in the world, as things stand, who are not currently in the world match play at Blackpool? Audio listeners.
Big pause there. Big pause. Yeah. I haven't gone anywhere. I was deep in thought now because I'm trying to remember it's top 16 in the world are automatically in.
Yeah, qualification system confirmed.
So it has to be somebody ranked 17 or below that hasn't got enough Pro Tour points to get in. Wow. Okay. There's a lot to take in there. All be thinking at home. Highest ranked players that are currently not in the world match play. Okie dokie.
And he's looking at his phone, trying to get the answers.
Go with. No, I don't have any. My hands are. Right. So I'm thinking. Okay. Oh, do you mean? Right. So you mean there's obviously people on the ranking list that if it ended now, they'd be in. That's what you're saying, isn't it? That's what you're saying. Because I was initially going to say...
I thought the question was quite explanatory. Which are the highest ranked players in the world that are not in the world match play? It's quite easy, really.
Yeah, because you take it... Explain to the listeners, it's the top 16 in the world, then plus it's the 16 highest
taken 2 minutes
on the Pro Tour.
We've still not got one guess.
So I'm going to say guess number 1 is Brian Joyce.
He's in, isn't he?
Don't tell me you haven't got the answers in front of you.
He's in. Yeah, I just...
He's in.
He's in, yeah.
Ryan's in.
As things stand.
It's got to be. It's got to be players in... Yeah, I mean, it's got to be players in the world ranked between sort of 17 and 25 that have had a bad Pro Tour year. So that's what I'm trying to think. I'm thinking it can't be Josh Rock because he's doing well. It can't be Brendan Dolan because he's doing well on the Pro Tour. So it's got to be players around that 20 mark. Jan van Veen?
He's in. Oh. He won Pro Tours, hasn't he? I think he's like number 1 seed, and he's number 3 seed. So that's 2 guesses, and you got them both wrong.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go with Richie Edas.
Correct. There's one.
Oh, got one. We've got one. Right. Okay. Good start. Now we're going to go. Oh, Mike Smith.
Yes.
Whoa.
That's the easy one. But
is that the easy one?
He's actually the second person on the list. There's a person higher ranked than Michael Smith not in.
Mike Smith dropped down then. He was 17th, which would make him the number 1. So he's dropped down further.
So 22.
Okay. Wow, is he 22? Oh my God. Imagine if we're sat here in 18 months going, do you remember when Mike Smith had a tour card? It's like, can you imagine that how ridiculous that would be? It's tough, this. It's very, very tough to think of players around that. I don't know why I wanted to say Kim Hybrex, but Kim Hybrex?
No, it's not Kim.
No?
Kim's like 48th in the world.
Wow, has he dropped that low? Oh, good God.
So if you get one more wrong, you've run out of guesses.
One more wrong and run out of guesses. Maders Razma.
Wrong. Razma is number 44. So the answers in order of ranking.
Okay.
Dimitri Vandenberg.
No way. He's not in.
Not in.
Wow.
And not even close.
And he'll be defending. Money.
Not even near. He's 50 grand near enough away.
Wow.
So Dimitri Vandenberg will not be there. Michael Smith, Richie Edhouse, which you've got. Ricardo Petretsko.
Oh, yeah, he's rubbish in the Pro Tour, isn't he? The Euros count, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Brendan Dolan.
No, that can't be right.
It is.
That can't be right. Last week, we had the conversation where you were doing Pro Tours and you said Brendan Dolan was like in the top of the Pro Tours.
Brendan Dolan is about 26 grand away from the match play.
Didn't he win a Pro Tour last week?
It must have been, no, not last week, but it must have been within.
Have you updated this? Is this the recent?
Yeah, this is updated. Just
like,
yeah. Dimitri Vandenberg, let's see what he's defending at the match play. He's defending 15 grand. So 15 comes off, 264. Yeah, he'll probably go down to about number 24.
Okay, so another great game. Love the game. Andy's rubbish at it. Well done.
Okay.
You always come up with a tough one. I hope
Speaking
the
of
people
things that are
better
rubbish,
than I did.
Things that are rubbish. Last week, me and Andy, as you know, he was down here. We went out Wednesday. I took him to one of my favourite places, the Smoke Pit in Northampton.
Fantastic.
We had the meat platter, brisket, pulled pork, the most amazing sausages.
Yep.
Chicken thighs, chicken wings.
What else do we have on the side?
There's something else on there. I'm missing something. Anyway,
it's just ribs. There's some ribs on there.
Ribs. That was it. Yeah,
ribs.
So we had the meat platter. Amazing, refillable drink. We're having a bit of that. We're having a great time. And Andy turned up in what can only be described as a blouse.
You see, the listeners just aren't going to agree with you, Matt, because they're sick of seeing your denim shorts. It's been in the comments. So there's no way that I'm taking fashion advice from you. Not happening. Not now. Not ever.
I mean, I'm not going to offer fashion advice, but you could have gone to a male clothes shop for your shirts. You didn't have to go to the women's clothes shop.
Right. Okay. Have I got it in the wardrobe? Can I? Yeah, I have. I'm going to put it on screen right now.
So this is a great one for the visual listeners.
Right. Yeah. Apologies for those of you that are audio listeners, but here's Andy's shirt that he wore. Now that is quite an appropriate shirt for a 53-year-old bloke. That's appropriate. Get in the comments if that's a horrendous shirt or if it's perfectly appropriate for a 53-year-old bloke.
Or a 53-year-old woman.
Oh, dear. I don't know.
Believe it.
So anyway.
I picked him up. He's come out in that. And I'm like, you're not going out in that, are you? Come on.
Well, funnily enough, your good lady said it was perfectly fine. So I'd rather have ladies liking it than other men, if that's all right with you.
There's a surprise. Women like it, eh? Women like women's clothes. Who would have thought? There's a surprise.
Right. Moving on. Flash Fenton at AOL has said, "Hi guys, like a lot of people, I enjoyed watching the seniors and thought this was growing nicely with the new qualification tournaments and was looking forward to seeing some breakout players like Richie Howson, etc. But it seems with all the players losing their tour cards, i.e. Merv King, Simon Whitlock, Van der Voort, and they're now being invited, it's now a glorified exhibition similar to the Premier League. Do you agree? Is the seniors now a glorified exhibition tournament?"
That's what it was originally. But I will say I'm not a fan of the seniors. I like the concept of it at first. I like nostalgia. I'm a big fan of nostalgia. Of course, I am. I collect retro toys. But I found it depressing. I don't want to see John Lowe averaging 60. I don't want to see Phil Taylor getting beat by Richie Howson. No, Richie Howson, good player, quality, yeah, but he's not. Shouldn't be walloping Phil Taylor the way he did. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to see Phil Taylor going out first round to people he used to destroy, averaging low 80s. I want to see Phil Taylor, but I don't want to see him in that environment. You know, it's sad. You know, I don't want to watch it.
I agree. So does it become does it become because they've lowered the entrance now to age 45, I think, or something. So the question is, does it become a serious tour for players aged 45 and over, or does it revert back to invitation only, legends of the sport that people will want to see if they can still play? And I prefer the second. I'd much for it be more lighthearted. There was one. If we go back, oh God, I don't know, 10, 15 years, I remember going to Blackpool and watching Bobby George and Eric Bristow and John Lowe and thought, yeah, it's a great night out. There wasn't any serious darts being played. I think Bristow hit a 180 and the crowd went berserk and he gave it but it was an exhibition, basically. I'd rather it like that, mate.
Do you know what? And here's the thing. And again, I don't want to make this sound. It's horrible because I need to name some people, for example, but it might sound derogative, and I don't mean it to sound that way. But you got good dart players, quality dart players who didn't quite make it in the professional career. And what tends to happen is they still play and sustain that level, where the people that was above them have sort of dropped below them to the point where, you know, under its current or its previous format, we had players that people didn't really know of becoming the latter rounds. People like, you know, Martin Turner, Darren Johnson, people that have been great players throughout the years, but wasn't quite able to get to broadcast. But now they're better than those players that was on the broadcast. So you end up seeing the people you want to see early on. And then by the time it gets to the semi-finals, you've got 4 players you didn't really know about. And you go, don't really know any of these. I'm not going to watch the semis and the finals. The semis and the finals should be the payoff and the pinnacle of the tournament. But they're the standard. They're the better players. They're the standard. They're the quality players of the field. So they're the ones that are going to go on the big runs, and the people you tuned in to watch have gone.
Correct.
And that's the danger. Correct. And, you know, Phil Taylor, you tune in to watch him, he goes out second round. Oh, okay. Not bothered now. Phil Taylor's out.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Fair. Yeah, fair point. Kyle has emailed us. Kyle813. Would you be able to do, and this is relating to videos that we've done on technique and things like that. Would you be able to do a video on alignment, specifically the torso and shoulder? Throwing darts as a left-hander, I have a straight shoulder naturally, torso side on and throw straight, but my right hand, blah, blah, blah. He goes on basically talking about his throw. The question is, can we do, or have we covered this in a video already, alignment and how important it
is? Go
is.
to How to Throw Darts Better, the series on the Main Mission YouTube channel. There's a video in there about foot positioning. That's the first thing. So to get your alignment right, you need to be able to square the body in the way to release the shoulder, certainly to allow the shoulder blade to move, retract, and do what it needs to do, to allow the arm to freely come through. There's a foot placement video there. Go check that one out. That's the best place to start, because the foot positioning is vital. You can have a Ferrari with the best engine in the world, but if your tires are rubbish, you're going nowhere. So start with the thing that roots you to the floor. Start with that foot position and work your way back.
Oh, and talking about tires, random as the podcast usually is, tires. These new systems on cars where everything is monitored electronically drives me mad. Mine's pinging at the moment. Your rear left tire is under pressure. Please, right? Okay. Then the sun comes out. Oh, it goes away. Then it's fine. Then it's fine. It's like up to pressure now. What look like a bit of sunshine, and then the next morning, your rear tire is under pressure. Please, oh, for God's sake, can you just leave it alone? In 10 minutes, when the sun comes out, it'll be fine. You know, everything is monitored on the cars now, isn't it? You're getting warning. Have you had that coffee cup warning signal on yours? So,
yeah, where it's like you're driving tired.
Yeah. So I'm driving down to yours last week, and after a couple of hours, this thing starts pinging on. I'm like, what on earth is that? I look, why is it flashing a coffee cup at me? I had one at the last services. I don't need another coffee. And then I've realised, I looked at you, like pulled over, looked in the manual. You are driving tired. Please stop. What? Give over.
So what that is it recognises little changes. So like if like you're in the lane and you're like, oh, yeah, you're like jerking like between the lane, it's like, oh, you must be tired because you're reacting and adjusting short, sharp changes. So yeah, and I tell you what, like, so I've got an Audi, and I got it because I wanted a premium car because I do a lot of traveling. I want to be comfortable. I can't wait to get rid of the damn thing. I hate it. Like the amount of things I've got to turn off all the time. So like you'll be driving to a roundabout and it'll be like, release the pedal, press the brake. Stop telling me how to drive my car. Like roundabout coming up, I can see it. Like, leave me alone. And the other thing is, so the Audi emits a signal all the time around it. So like if someone steps out in the road, it'll be like, whoa, pre-sense kicks in. It can automatically brake, things like that. So this pre-sense is kicking off all the time, which sounds like a lovely system until it starts raining. And it rains and the rain hits the ground and bounces back up. And then the sensor notices something's going past it and back up again. So heavy rain where it's bouncing back up. So then it really starts going off like, warning, danger, there's stuff all around us. It's rain. Surely when you designed this system, you should have known it was going to rain outside at some point. Why are you panicking right now? Shut up. It winds me up. I hate it.
I would love somebody to be
Audi, sort you out.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd love there'll be somebody listening to the podcast now that gets cars and stuff. And I'd love somebody to be able to tell me why my electric car can do more miles when it's sunny than when it's cold. Like you've got things like you've got your phone, right? We've all got phones. We recharge them and it doesn't work better if the room's warm than if the room's cold. It just works. My car goes, oh, it's cold today. That's 50 miles less. What? Literally 50 miles less if it's cold. If it's warm, it'll do 280 miles. If it's cold, it's like 230. I'm like, it's still a battery. It's been charged. Why is it affected by the cold? I don't get it. So
you know what's going to
get in the comments.
There's going to be a lot of comments now going, lads, you do know you can just turn all this stuff off. Like there'll be a setting like battery and they'll be like all this stuff I'm on about. Matt, just go in there, press that, turns it off. Here's the other thing that annoys me, right? So I have multiple keys to my Audi, and I didn't realize the settings get stored to the key. So essentially, like if the missus has a key and I have a key and my settings are one and hers is another, I go in, I press the button and it'll do the settings that I have. And if she uses the other key, it'll do the settings that she has.
Cool.
Right? So it stores to that. So I didn't realize this. And I just picked up the spare key the other day. I've gone out, the seat starts moving. I'm like, what's going on? Everything changed. I'm like, this isn't my car. What's going on? The seat's moving me to the steering wheel. I thought I was on like Final Destination or something. I was going to get squished.
Oh, and to our regular listeners, I can confirm, having been at Matt's studio for 2 days, he does have a computer with 2 monitors that's never been turned on. Right? And he's now just told me he's taken delivery of something today, Matt, haven't you? Oh, was it
a couple of days ago now? So when Andy was here, it was a bit warm. And he said, get a fan up here. And I said, I'm not going to get a fan because fan just circulates air. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get an air cooler. You put water in it in the top. It sucks in the hot air and it blows out cool air. And because my office isn't massive, I thought at least a 8-litre tank, just sit it on the side. Beautiful. Yeah. That'd be nice and easy. It'll just blow out cool air, keep everything cool. So we don't have to have the windows
22
open.
degrees today, Matt. So how's it working?
It's still in the box.
So the next time I come down, when the weather's got back to normal and it's freezing cold, it won't matter. He'll still be sat in the box, won't it? He'll still be sat in the box. Oh dear. We did get using your mics though this time for like the first time in since you got them in last August or whatever it was. So we do, you know. It's like...
I'm traditionally quite tight, and I'm spending all this money on stuff.
Yeah.
Like this computer cost me over 4 figures. Yeah. Them mics, 250 quid.
Yeah.
They just sat there. You got mics,
Sit there.
Yeah, got mics.
Yeah, they're in a box over there. You got an air cooler, yeah? In the box over there. You got a computer, yeah? On my desk. Why is it not working? I don't turn it on. Is it are you frightened of if you turn it on, something's going to happen, and you're going to be like, oh no, I've broken it or something?
Yeah, I've just really I've genuinely been struggling time wise, but I'm going to have a lot more time over the summer, so hopefully I can turn it on.
Yeah, hopefully so. So what's coming up this week? So you're listening to this on Sunday. Oh yeah. So by the time you guys are listening to this, Matt and I are 2 days away from being back on the road around the Midlands, I believe, this time, Matt. We've done that a few times. There's a lot of good places to go in the Midlands. So we're doing another shop, aren't we? We found a shop to go to. We got some more Rate My Hockeys. Some interesting, and lots of more long. It's been a while since we filmed some long form content for the main mission channel. Lots of ideas for new stuff that we're going to. So the three of us will be together. Andy, the videographer, and keep them coming. You know, keep your ideas coming to YouTube@missiondarts.com. If you've got any questions you want us to answer in the podcast, if you've got any ideas for videos we might do, anything you'd like to see, please do keep emailing them in, as well as commenting for the algorithm.
There's been a lot of that.
We've not had Giraffe for a while. I've not seen Giraffe in there. Brilliant. As if you have that ready there then. Oh, have you got those images? That I sent you? Yeah, here we go. So this is a guy from Canada who sent in pictures of his darts room. Now it's I think it's in the basement. It's more of a lounge with an amazing wooden bar in the corner and big screen TV. But look at that retro arcade machine, dartboard. Looks like he might have a mission. Has he got a 270 there? I think he might have. Stereo system, and what an impressive place that is. Now, we wanted to show that on the pod because I don't think we're going to get time to go to Canada anytime soon to video. But thanks for sending those in. Really appreciate it. Again, quite a few people since we started the Home Hockey series have been sending me to YouTube@missiondarts.com pictures of their man caves, home hockeys, whatever, and we are going to get to visit some. So that's going to be an ongoing series that may be a little bit sporadic, won't be as regular as Rate My Hockey, but once we've got some more of those dartboards in unusual places or home hockeys, we'll get them out to you. I'm just looking up the guy's name. Yeah, Jonathan Webb. Thank you, Jonathan, for sending me those images. He's in Ontario, Canada. So thank you very much for that. And thanks to everybody else.
Ontario.
Yeah. I've got a lot of list of people that have sent me fantastic pictures of the man cave. So we will be visiting some soon. Do some more of that. Sorry, did I miss something? Has something tickled you? He's gone.
You've
Those audio listeners now are going, is this the end of the podcast, or have we just lost Matt? So those of you that don't know Matt that well, once he starts giggling, he can't stop. This started in the restaurant when we went out. This started at the last time we were at Rate My Hockey. And there goes my doorbell again. I'm not going down. I am not going down to take another parcel for next door. I'm not expecting a parcel. I haven't ordered anything. I ain't going down.
So,
So what was tickling you? I'm just going to shout out the window. Hang on. Can you leave it on the doorstep, mate? Thank you. I don't know what it is. I've just told. I'm not going down 2 flights of stairs again.
So you've had lots of people sending you pictures of their man cave.
What's so funny about that?
Well, it sounds like it could be code for something.
Oh, okay. All right. You see, the smallest things amuse you, Matt, don't they? Once he starts, he's off. I think that'd be a good point to end this week.
No, we've got better news to end it with. If anyone's
okay. News to end. Go on then. Go on.
I'm playing darts again, aren't I? In October.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you are. You're playing in the Modus Super Series in October. So therefore, you've got June, July, August. You've got 4 months to practice. You won't be practicing. Let's not. You're too busy. You're too busy to practice, Matt. And anyway, we did a live podcast last week. You were at a 180. So do you even need any practice? You know,
I'll go win it. Was it $5,000? I'll go do that. Getting Champions Week, win that.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a plan. I'll do the podcast on my own if you do. We'll do a live podcast from, I don't know, Portsmouth. It'll be exciting. Yeah. Right. Well, on that revelation that Matt's playing in, we were going to talk about the World Cup, but we'll save that for next week. The World Cup's a few weeks away yet. Oh, and my headphones just fallen out right on time. So there you go. It is the time. It's time to go. There you go. I've managed to get it back in. It's been a pleasure as always. Episode 41. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. See ya.